Chance's Farm. Today we're out here in the shop, and it's time for honey season also, so we kind of got a lot of things in here, so I'm having to move to a small area that I can get this laid to where I can actually safely be standing by it and get done what I need to get done today. I recently picked up some blanks from Wood Turnings, and they are what they call the Combz blank. So it's got pieces of metal in there to make it look like a honeycomb design. So I have them drilled already, have the pin tube glued in place. I've already got the end of it barrel trim done. So now all I have to do is get them mounted on the lathe, turn it down. I'm going to put them on the Mesa kit, and this one's going to be it's going to be a gunmetal finish on it. So just have to get my bushings out here, and then maybe once we get past honey season and some other things slow down around here, I can try to get back to doing some more of this. I still have a bowl that I haven't finished yet. I got it turned to the rough shape that I needed, and then actually the tenon on the back of it broke, so that kind of slowed me down a little bit. So it's been sitting in sawdust and with some glue on it to try to help the bowl itself, because it was a piece of firewood that I started with. It was a piece of the apple tree we took down. So since then, my brother has actually come over and took a piece of that apple, took it home. He has more time than I do to get to do it, so he sent me a picture the other day of how it turned out, and he actually took the shavings from it and was able to put the shavings into his pressure pot, and with some epoxy, and created another bowl off of just the shavings. So and it actually turned out really nice as well. So a little bit difference in the amount of time that he's been turning versus me, so the skill level's a little bit different there as well. He started using that Craftsman lathe there of my grandpa's back when he was in junior high, and turned mom and dad a set of lamps back then. So make sure we got this fired up, and then we'll hit the tool rest first. Oh, that's what I thought. That'd be a little better. Yeah, we got some room. Okay, everything spins, we're good. So, I gotta figure out what tools I got out here and what ones I gotta go get. Here's the square one. Well, we'll start with the square one. We'll get it down to shape, and then we'll be able to... I could actually use the round tip one for the whole process if I wanted to, but we'll go ahead and use the square one to round it out since I've already got this out here, and then we'll go from there. Basically, I just got to take real small cuts with this. If you notice, I'm a little bit nervous at it because it does have those the metal inside there, and between that and the acrylic that this is made out of, some guys would probably wear a glove with this just because it's hitting my finger pretty good. I'm a little nervous about wearing a glove because I don't want the glove to get caught, so it's going to take me a little while to get this rounded out. I'm going to get it rounded out and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so for the most part I got it rounded out now. There is one spot it kind of chipped out on me right there. Out of the honeycomb itself it kind of chipped out, but these are the bushings that I got to take it down to, so I have plenty of room to get that out. So we're going to work on shaping it now, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we started some of the shaping, and as you can see at this end, I've already got that chip out taken care of, and I still have plenty of space there on the bushings at both ends to go further. You can start to see the honeycomb pattern a little bit more pronounced now. So we're gonna work on this a little bit more. I am using the Easy Wood tool with the round end on it, and that is a negative rake cutting edge on there as well. So I'll go ahead and work on shaping this one, and then I'll bring you guys back and show you what the final shape is before we start our sanding process. Alright, well, that's the brakes, literally. So, we made it that far, and it decided that it wanted to split on me. So I was almost there. I was making the final light pass across there, really, and it just basically snapped in half. So like with most things, when you want one, you make two. So now I get to start over. Okay, so now we've got it turned down to shape. I'm just a little bit proud of the bushings on each end, but I like to stop there. That way I can sand it and get the final shape that I want. So we're gonna sand this up to 600, and then this will be the first pen that we are going to do a CA glue finish on. So I'm gonna do a build up, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing when I get to that point. And this is what this one's gonna look like. This is the blue honeycomb blank. So I'm just now starting to sand it. So that's what it's gonna look like for now. Okay, so now I'm finished sanding it, and this is what it looks like. So this will be the first time that I've ever did this type of finish before, and I've got it sanded to 600 grit right now. So now we're going to do a CA glue finish. So, oops, that's the wrong one. That's the thick. I need the thin. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a glue buildup. So I'm going to use CA thin first, one coat. And that's why if you notice there's plastic bushings on the end of it now instead of the metal ones that I actually turn the pen with. Those are glue up bushings, so that way they won't stick to the blank. So we're going to use activator and CA glue, and to keep from having anything getting into our finish, we've got a brand new blue shop towel, and I'm gonna fold it over and probably only use half of it. So I'll go ahead and cut this in half, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to use CA thin to basically seal everything, and then I'll do my build-ups with the CA medium. So bear with me, because this is the first time I've ever done this. So I watched a video. That's kind of like staying in a Holiday Inn Express, right? So we'll get her figured out. Okay, so, and that's the pin, so it comes through the glove, or the paper towel. So then we'll just there. So that layer's done. I'm gonna leave that on there so it don't rip my glove. So now then we'll just do our build up the same way. And the heat will kind of make that seal. So, oops, it did, it got my glove. So, nice. Alright, well, we'll just keep that around there, no big deal. That way it's not sticking to me at least. Like I said, this is a learning experience. I'm not very good at it, obviously. There's two, and each time we're going to use a new piece of paper towel. Obviously it's working because towels are trying to stick together each go around.
How many layers do you have to put on this?
The guy I seen did 8 layers.
Did you tell them about this spray?
Yeah.
What it actually does?
It activates the glue basically, so I don't have to, as much downtime between times.
So.
There we go. Okay. There we go. And they're saying you can also use this same process on your wooden pins also, once you get good at it. So I'll give it a try, see if I like it or not, and we'll kind of go from there. So far it's kind of messy, but yep, that one kind of got through the glove a little bit. The heat did at least. Alright, we'll do one more and then we're done. Okay. So basically now that glue is ready to, the coating is there. Yeah, it did, it come through. Got a little bit on my finger there. Not that big a deal.
Oops, probably some fingernail polish remover will
Yeah.
help.
Well, and the other part of it is, you know, the friction of the thing turning also heats that stuff up and makes it you know, it's stick fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's an instant adhesive, so. And then we're activating it too, so that's not
helping. No, it don't sound like you're in a tunnel.
Yeah. So basically, the next thing that we have to do is wet sand it to buff that finish out, and then depending on which video you watch determines whether or not you do anything past that. The one guy, he wet sanded it, and then he took it over and had the 2-wheel buffing system on the lathe and did that to finish it. The other guy I watched, he did the wet sanding on it, and then he went back with the Hut plastic polish and finished it. I don't have the 2-wheel buffing system, so I'm gonna wet sand it, and then I'll go back and do the Hut plastic polish on top of this, and that'll. But basically, the reason that I chose to do the glue up finish is because with this having the metal pieces in there, I wanted the glue to cover the pieces of metal and seal them. That way, it wasn't in my hand with those metal pieces trying to get me every time I used it. So I'll get up here I'll get everything situated and start wet sanding it, and then we'll bring you guys back. Alright, so now we're going to wet sand this. So I always like to kind of start a little bit before I turn it on. There we go. Give me that towel right there, please. I'm just trying to protect the lathe itself from the water. You kind of see it frothing here. That lets me know that I'm actually putting enough pressure on it, and I'll kind of take it in there and clear it off. So right now we're wet sanding this at 1500, and we'll go all the way to 12,000. So we'll kind of put this on a time lapse as I go through these, and then I'll bring you back and talk to you at the end. Alright, so right now we're at 12,000, and we'll see what I think about it. I may end up going back through them a second time. Let's see. There's a little bit of, in my opinion, the whiteness of the glue is still on there. I'm not too sure that I like that. Versus this end down here, in my opinion, is nice looking. But this end up here where I started my buildups every time got a little thicker with the glue. So I might just go ahead and do that real quick while I'm right here. Just wet sand it all the way back through again. Alright, so now we're back to 12,000 again. And let's turn it off, see? Okay. I like that a lot better. There's still one spot here that I don't really care for. Right there. It's a little bit darker white, but the coat itself is nice and smooth, and everything else looks good to where I'm not gonna bother with trying to get that one little streak out. Like I said, for the first time I've ever done a CA glue finish, I'm pretty happy with that. So now we'll just use our terry cloth here and kind of dry it up a little bit. This is what it's gonna look like. The only thing I'm gonna do to it now is I'm gonna apply the Hut Ultra Gloss plastic finish. It's a non-drying, non-caking, creates an ultra high gloss finish on most plastics. It removes scratches. So we're going to shake well, and then we're going to put it on there and press firmly with our cloth for about 30 to 60 seconds. So and go ahead and get rid of the wet sanding stuff.
We dump that out. Got it? Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to take a little bit of it, put it on this piece of used t-shirt. Yeah, okay. I like to start putting it on here, manually turning it. It's a lot easier to tell I coat everything. Then I'll turn the lathe on.
Does that need to go back down? Or?
Nope, right there where it's that's fine. Okay. Now we'll be about 30 to 60 seconds making sure this is all applied. And as you can see, when I first started, there was some little white rings going around it, so you could see each time it made its evolution. Then I just kind of move my hands a little faster and I kind of polish it as it's going. I can feel the temperature increasing a little bit on my fingers. It's not hot, but you can actually tell there's some friction generating there, which is what you're wanting. You're basically wanting to use this as a friction polish. And I'll just move and make sure we get the rest of that that's off that cloth. That'll finish taking any of the scratch marks that possibly could have been on there from the micro mesh. It will take those out. So now you can see you got more of a glossy finish. There's still that little white streak right there from the glue up and a little one over here on the edge. But all in all, I'm happy with this finish.
This little is just from the light.
Right.
There, that's better.
Yeah. So, not too bad for my first attempt at this. So, like I said, I just try to clean it up a little bit. Dry it off. We'll assemble this and be done with it. So, let me close this up. Take a piece of that in the trash, please. Alright.
What are you using?
So this is the pin kit that will be used to assemble the rest of.
We're using the one that's gunmetal. And like I did with the last one, we have the pin press here. So give me just a second and I'll buy me a little space. Alright, so now we're just starting to assemble the pin. Much easier than that clamp I used to use.
You got the pin.
That's all there is to it. Now it'd be done. And it is a twist pin. So there it is.
Here. There we go.
And it did kind of stick to the bushings, even though it says they won't. It did stick to them a little bit, so we'll have to make a few adjustments on that. Not that big a deal. So this is the finished product. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on social media with all your family and friends. And we'll see you guys on the next one.